see a little bar. There we go. Are we live?
Says we are.
Should be.
I think we are.
There we go. Let a few people join in. Let's see what happens there. Okay, let's do this. There we go. Hello, Ron. Hey, can you do a sound check with us, Ron? Can you hear us okay? Let's see what this side. Maybe not. I don't know.
Audio?
Hmm?
Do you have audio where you can... Oh, he'll just text you.
Yeah.
Message, okay.
Just trying to see if audio is working properly here, folks.
We're trying to do a Facebook Live while driving.
There we go. Hey, Ron. Hey, can you hear us okay, Ron? He's logged in there. Let me see about getting Jay to join in
yeah, what's
here.
Jay's number?
There you go.
Will Jay answer if I call him?
No, I'll just do it here.
Okay, there you go.
George, Penny, Kathy, Jay. Yeah, that'll do it.
Look how pretty.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We're driving along Bayshore right now, taking Sue back to the airport. Susan. Back to the airport. She smacks me. I'll get a text from you smack me, and I get a text from Jay going, her name's Susan. I was like, yeah, okay, gotcha. Susan.
Okay. Hey, guys.
So I'm taking Susan back to the airport. She came here. She flew in yesterday to go see, help me go try to meet with Dan Bongino.
It was a nice event.
It was a nice event. The steak was fine. Some poor old guy ended up, I don't know, I think he kind of maybe thought he was, Mario Andretti for a moment, I don't know. He was channeling the spirit of Mario Andretti, and right in front of this big, beautiful resort, where all the people are like standing and in the
waiting for the valet.
Waiting for the valets.
Yep.
This old guy got in his car. What was it, like an old Cadillac?
Yep.
And just floored it, right? And it's just sitting there. Both back wheels are just spinning and smoking. And then he lets up the brake and he goes taking off. Tries to corner, but doesn't quite corner to get out of the little roundabout thing there at the resort, and just smashes right into a parked car that, thank God, was parked there. He would have taken out like a $1 million bus.
It was a Mini Cooper.
A Mini Cooper that was the only thing between that $1 million tour bus and this old guy, and it was like, I felt sorry for him because, and God forbid anybody would have been standing in front of the car, like a kid or something, would have been killed. But it was funny because he crashes into this car, and, all the people are freaking out. I was thinking at first, hey, I hope that's Dan Bongino's car, the asshole. But that's another thing. It's kind of, we'll get to that. And nobody was in it, so it wouldn't have been any, getting hurt or anything. I think it is. But the old guy crashes into the back of this parked car, and then just kind of gets out and goes and sits in the back seat. Am I wrong?
Yeah, like he was waiting for waiting for Mama to come drive now.
Maybe
it's your turn.
Just kind of waiting. Hey, Mother, better let Mother drive this time or something. It's a bit late for that, but so he gets in the back seat and just sits there and waits to be driven off by a car that's clearly not going anywhere because it's completely smashed into the back of this other car at a high rate of speed with wheels smoking.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. And see that all through here though.
Oh yeah, all the mangroves are beautiful.
Yeah. We're driving down through Bayshore right now. I'm taking Susan back to the airport, and we just left a meeting with a friend of mine who will remain unnamed, and his friend, what was that guy's name? Jason or something? Jesse.
We'll leave it at that.
And we're working on a project here with a veterans-based nonprofit. That's cool. But she got to. It was good because Susan's going to be helping out with the like the accounting services and stuff. The other guys there are going to be putting together like.
I'm going to keep them legal.
You're going to keep us legal, right?
Yeah.
And well, we got a pretty good team of people working with us already. We got Fred Taylor on board. He's a 3-time Purple Heart recipient, so this is going to be actually pretty cool.
And we met a really interesting guy who does a lot of veterans work last night.
Yeah, at the Bongino thing. Yeah. So we'll reach out to that guy. He's got a veterans-based nonprofit himself. But it was pretty interesting. We met with Dan after, and I just have to stop right here real quick and thank Susan here for helping out with those tickets. Those were huge. We're going to be doing like a thing to try to kind of raise money to help maybe reimburse as much of that as we can, and to do our next project. We're working on going to DC shortly here, but
we have one of my friends, Colleen, one of his Patreon supporters, Colleen. She's putting a GoFundMe campaign together, or has put it together. I think it went live a couple of days ago, so that would be great. There's other. It would be great if we could reach our goal. But if we don't, according to the rules and regulations, we will have every dollar refunded if we don't meet our goals.
Well, that's cool.
I expect we will, though.
So, no, but it was very good with the event last night. As far as accomplishing, it wouldn't appear on the outset that it accomplished anything, but it actually did. Right? Accomplished a couple of things. It showed me that there are people in this world that actually care, like Susan, that's willing to put out, a lot of personal time, energy, money, because she's a patriot and she sees what's going on and she doesn't like it. She's trying to make a difference. There's a lot of people out there trying to do that. Like George Webb, very good man, sees that there's a problem with our society. He doesn't believe everything that's going on. The mainstream media has lost all credibility. So we're trying to be able to, so we have people that are trying to be able to utilize social media for different purposes. Some people, they're like one or two people, actually just one guy initially, it's like, oh, trolls, right? We're trolling Bongino or something, but that's not the case. We actually, have a very real and personal reason for what we're doing, right? And
for me, I've had for years probably really since I was a teenager. I've always been very conscious of my privacy, and I see that privacy slipping away in a very rapidly occurring situation now that I know some of the things that I know, and I know the capabilities of some of these programs and some of the things that some of these companies are doing. That's one of the main reasons why that, and national security, not only my privacy, but the privacy and security of our country. We've got to do something. We can't just sit at home and do nothing.
And so Susan took kind of like a leap of faith, because social media is a mess, right? You don't know who to believe and who not to believe. You do have trolls out there. But you also have good people out there that are trying to do good things, and you don't know who I am or what my motives are, or what my background is. And it was nice for me having Susan come out here, because she got to spend some time. We hung out with a colleague of mine that I worked with in Iraq. Do you think you can pretty much verify everything that you've heard me say?
Absolutely.
Online?
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely everything.
So when we're, if Bongino happens to see this, which I don't know, he probably, even if he did, he's not going to do crap about it. But people out there that question whether or not what I'm saying is something that they should be concerned about, I think pretty much Sue's going to be, I'm taking her to the airport right now, and she's flying out of here going, oh crap, because we just had a long conversation with another individual, and she was with the other guy that I was with,
right.
And these people are like, that other individual hadn't heard this story before.
He was stunned.
And he was stunned. I told just briefly my story to that lady last night at our table.
Yeah.
And she gets up and walks over and hands me $100.
When we're leaving.
Saying, here, wow, you guys, here, we wanted to help you. And it was like, help you, what you're doing. They paid like $450 a person, these two people, these two elderly couple in that area, to go see Dan Bongino. And I kind of think, and they just kind of got up and left even early, right after his time.
Yeah, there was a lot of people.
And I think they were kind of a little disappointed in Dan Bongino after hearing me, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I was actually surprised that it ended the way it did. I mean, it was kind of abrupt. I thought there might be question and answers.
He was only like, what was he, like 20, 30 minutes?
Yeah.
$450 a ticket. The guy comes out there and does like 20, 30 minutes. I think he may have been, I'm just speculating, but I think he may have been a little freaked out about me just approaching him earlier when
Yeah, maybe not. We can't, we don't know.
Just
what was
speculating.
Going on,
Sue witnessed the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I saw facial expressions, and that gave me a few clues, but, I don't want to...
You can't speculate, but you do the best, because why? Because Dan Bongino had a couple really simple choices last night. One of them would have been that, hey, I get it, you're in the middle of something right now, but wow, somebody, these people have put out like a couple $1,000 to be there, to bring you this information, to do as Dan says, go do, don't just sit on the couch, to do. So we go out and do this at great expense. And all he had to do was say, listen, obviously we're in this event right now, not the best time for this, but I need to hear what you got to say. Here, my assistant's going to take down your number, and we're going to schedule a call. And that would have been the best evening ever. It would have been like,
we would say,
Dan
what,
would
maybe
have
tomorrow,
maybe next week.
Call, maybe something. But instead, what we got was, I understand, but this is not the appropriate time for this.
Yep.
And that was it.
Which kind of implied to Susan was like he understood, like he knew.
But yeah,
speculating.
Yeah, I'm speculating, for sure. But what was he afraid of? you know, that's kind of what my thought was last night. Is what was he afraid of?
What do you got to be afraid of? Because because I've listened to his show and I respect the man. I've enjoyed the work that he's done. He doesn't put himself out there as a journalist. He puts himself out there as sort of an aggregator.
Yeah, a commentator.
And he has the ability to take my story, which is directly connected to everything he's been investigating for the last couple of years. I worked for Obama's national security advisor for 8 years. I worked for a company owned by it, very small company, and we built the same social media psychological warfare applications we indicted the 13 Russians for. Oh, and by the way, Paul Manafort was our partner. So you would think that perhaps Dan Bongino would want to speak with us about this. And one more thing I would add is several days earlier, like maybe 3 or 4 days earlier, I found another lady online, a Miss Maria Picha. And I saw her connected to Dan. She actually previously had a, maybe still does, has a at bongino.com email address. So
a professional connection there.
Definitely a professional connection going back to like at least 2014 when he ran for the Senate, right? So I'm thinking she's only got a couple hundred people, friends and followers. So I reached out to her a few days before the event. And I said, hey, this is my story. Just briefly, can you please get this information to Dan Bongino? And she responds back, yes, I will take this. I will get this to Dan and let you know what he decides, right? So, and we didn't go there last night like being jerks or trying to set anybody up or doing anything. We didn't, in fact, even let anybody know ahead of time.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't at all intended to be a gotcha moment.
Mm-mm.
Not at all. It was very quiet. He was speaking with him very quietly, very
there was
discreetly. No one else was there.
Mm-hmm.
No one else was in earshot that I could see. So there wasn't. It was done very nicely, and there could have been a different. I would have hoped for a different response.
Yeah. So I see people like Susan and people like that couple at the table last night when they hear my story, and they become concerned, and they're like, they were pretty disappointed, I think, in Bongino. But I see these people, and it just gives me faith and hope, right? So it's like, as long as there's going to be people like Susan and like those other people and the people on Patreon that have contributed, as long as there's people like that, that I see that are like wanting to help out and stuff. Dan, we're not going away, Dan. We're not going away. So you can either, you can, and you don't have to, he's got like all this power, right? He's got a huge media. He's got a huge voice. He could sit there and just destroy me. Yeah, you could do that very easily.
But here's the thing. You're not looking for some sort
I'm not looking for a fight.
Yeah, you're not looking for a fight.
I'm looking for your help.
You're not looking for, what was I going to say? You're not looking for a fight. You're not looking to, expose something that he may or may not have done. We don't know. We just want some sort of validation that, yes, you've got this information, and no, I can't do, maybe it's no, I can't do anything with it at this time.
And what would be really nice at that point would be why, because I would just love to know. And nobody ever owes you an explanation of why they don't want to do something, but it would be really nice to know, because then I could help use that information to help evaluate how I approach the next person. What am I, am I doing something wrong? I'm trying to put it out there. I mean, I'm the worst person in the world to be doing this, right? I'm not a professional at this. I don't even want to be doing it. I'm the most reluctant person in the world doing this. But like I said, as long as people keep helping out, and I don't get any answers from these people, I'm going to keep, asking. So I'm not going away. And I think Devin Nunes said that the other day, not a few weeks ago. He said, "Listen, I'm not going away, right? So they're going to either have to deal with it or something." And I thought that was very fitting. I'm not going anywhere as long as I got people like this helping me out. There. So anything, we're kind of stuck a little bit in traffic right now, taking Sue back to the airport across the causeway. Yeah. Anything you want to add on that, Sue?
Well, I will say, we drove a little bit around. That's fine. We drove around the Tampa area a little bit. Gorgeous. And I have to say, before today, I've been in one VFW. The VFW in Tampa. What's the name of that community?
Oh, in Safety Harbor?
Yeah, Safety Harbor. It is beautiful. And I've got to tell you, those people, right? Yeah, it's gorgeous. And the people are just so, genuine. And, I mean, not that I would expect anything different, but I just felt so welcome. And, I have 0 military service. 0. And they were very welcoming people, and I appreciated that.
We are a USAA member.
Well, that's because my dad served.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, my dad served. Yeah, my dad was in the Navy. During Vietnam. I don't remember the exact years, but I know he was still serving when I was born, which was 1967. I was born in the base on the base in Jacksonville. So there you go.
And I did have a chance to show Susan some of the work that I've been doing on the website.
Yeah.
The CDN network I built out on Azure.
Yep.
Which is probably means nothing to her what she saw, but yeah, it's cool. I mean,
it does mean something to me because I heard what you said in terms of the capabilities here and the
privacy.
The privacy for sure, but just what you have built in a relatively short amount of time that would have cost, if a company wanted to build this, $250,000.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just incredible.
Hire somebody to build out a CDN network, a virtualized CDN network and domain that
content delivery network for CDN.
Gosh, she's good. But so we've got some really cool things coming together. That's an amazing little bridge right there, isn't it?
Yes,
that just
it is.
blows my mind.
I
They
love
built
all
that.
the bridges
And look,
here.
they put a little deck on it, so you can stop there and just look out at the very top. We're like at the top of a bridge right now across
But
the
I love
causeway.
the fact that what Tampa did when they had a disaster happen, they ended up spending some financial resources, and building this really, really
We got to see the
really, really cool.
Show
really cool
bridges there. And
bike bridge. Look at that bike bridge, or walking bridge. Isn't that cool? I love that. That is so sharp.
It's nicer than the bridge we're driving on.
It is. It is. It is.
They get a nicer bridge.
So, what was that bridge across the way again?
That is Gandy Bridge, and then you got the Howard Franklin beyond that, I believe.
Okay. So there you go. Really, really pretty. I mean, it's kind of overcast today, but we've had good luck with the weather.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been really nice. We got a lot done in 30 hours? Just a ton done.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I'm very excited about this new network. It's
Yeah.
gonna be great.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
And anything? Are we missing anything?
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day. If you can, check out, if you want to understand more about what we're talking about here, go to victimoftheswamp.com or go to Seabergy, PFC 40 book.
We'll get that out.
We don't know exactly how
I don't
much of
remember.
this was just recorded because we're like in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico right now in our car, which is kind of cool. So hopefully we just kept talking. Hopefully it is recording. I'll upload this to YouTube. I'll save it and upload it to YouTube.
And
But
if it's stopped, you can always edit.
Yep. So patreon.com/theshadownethacker. Could really use some help. Susan was absolutely amazing. And we have a trip to DC that we want to take here very shortly to deal with the Ketam lawsuit that I filed. I got finding a thing back from an opinion back from the DC federal court. Let's finish with we did give, what was that guy's name? Schofield. We gave this guy Schofield, who was the guy that put the event on last night. That's for Bongino. I think he was like actually the guy in charge of putting the event on. Him and his wife, Mimi.
Okay. Yeah.
And but no, we were able to give him the documentation, and he assured us that actually Mimi assured us she was going to personally hand it to Dan Bongino's wife. Correct?
Yes.
So,
correct.
I have with extremely high confidence that this guy gave the Ketam pretty much the full thing, not full. Not all the exhibits and everything, but the pleading for the Ketam, original Ketam, and the follow-up opinion.
Yeah, the basics, not anything confidential or classified.
But clearly shows that the legitimacy of what we were coming to with this. So we'll keep you informed. We're gonna go offline right now. Hope the video did okay. We lost our connection for a bit midway through, but thank you very much for your help, for watching, and your support and your wishes and all that. And happy Valentine's Day, and anything Sue wants to end with.
Well, I just want to say thank you for all of you that are Patreons. I think this is a very important cause, and I'm one of those people that if I believe in something, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is.
Sure
and
enough.
I don't mess around. So that's it. So have a great weekend, y'all.
Thank you very much. Please like and share this, and I'll put this on the YouTube site here shortly as well. Thank you. God bless.